All right. Good afternoon, CSCI 221 students. Sorry, this video is getting up here a little bit late. I'm also the drone instructor, and I had some other responsibilities this morning. So you guys don't have to worry about this code along until just make sure you get the code along done before next class. Alrighty. So without further ado, this week we are in looping, and of course on Canvas I've posted a link to our chapter for this week. We're in chapter 5, looping, and so we get to do some pretty fun and entertaining things moving forward. So let's get into it. Okay. I got Valentine's Day on the brain. It's been a while since Valentine's Day now, too. Anyway, for February 2026. And let's go ahead and do a nice welcome message. Flower shop. Maybe we'll name it something. We'll give it like a little bit of flair. A little bit of formatting. I like that I see you guys put a little bit of flair and formatting into your lab assignments, which I hope you guys enjoyed the lab assignment from last week. CSCI flower shop. I can't even think of like a cute name for the flower shop. Something, I don't know, code and I don't even know a flower that what is it? Crit Chrysanthemum. I know I spelled that wrong. Gee whiz. Chrysanthemums. Chrysanthemum flower. There we go. I knew I did not spell that right. Can I get to my tab again? There we go. Give us a little something. Code and chrysanthemums. And this is just me giving it a little flair. Just so we can be entertained, right? We want to be entertained. We want to be entertained. I might have to do a tab on that. I don't think. Let's see what it looks like. Run. Oh yeah, that's cute. Okay, we're good. All right. So the first thing that we're looking at is going to be our while loops. Why not? So looping is so some of you guys for your my story assignments, you wanted to be able to keep asking something over and over again. And that's what looping allows us to do, to continue some process until some condition is met. So maybe while, and I'm just going to do a simple example. I'll create a variable called flag and I'll set it equal to 0. So while flag is equal to 0, do something, right? And for maybe for right now, we'll print maybe we'll print some available flowers, right? Maybe we'll do another. Let's do chrysanthemums. Maybe like 10. Do something cute like that. Roses. Tulips. I don't know. Lilies. And I don't know, sunflowers. Sure. 20, 30. I don't know. sure. Anyway, so something like that. So notice right now, while, and this is our condition, right? While this condition is true, continue to do lines 13 to 19, right? And then maybe we'll go ahead and take some input. But let's see what happens if I run it right here first. Hold on. Right? Oh my gosh. What is going on? Why is it freaking out like that? Ah. Right? Let's go ahead and stop it. So as you can see, it's just printing our menu over and over again, because what we said was, while this condition is true, print our menu. So what is that going to do? Continuously print our menu over and over and over and over again, right? A non-terminating loop. We never want to do that. We never want to do that. So inside of our loop, we always want to update our flag. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take their order. Let's do like flower order. Enter your flower, right? And we'll take something. If flower order is our chrysanthemums, right? Nothing new here, just a little bit of mixing concepts. So this are our if-else statements from last week, right? So if they order chrysanthemum, then maybe we'll do total is equal to total plus $10, right? And so I hope you immediately said, oh, you're updating a total. Make sure that we create a total in the beginning up here on line 9 to go ahead and hold that, right? And remembering that you don't, this, I think we were having an easier time understanding this, and I think somebody was running into some like weird syntax errors. So anyway, remembering that you can use the plus equal if you would like. Order, and we're just going to do the next one. Rows total equals total plus $20. Right, nothing new here, nothing new here. We already learned if-else statements. I'm not doing anything too crazy, right? Update the tulips. Maybe the tulips are $30. Give me the lilies for $40. And give me the sunflowers for $50. Man, the sunflowers are expensive, aren't they? And then remembering that our else, right? So if flower order equals chrysanthemums, do this. Elif. If they just entered something ridiculous or something that we don't have in here, use our else. And else we're gonna say print invalid entry, right? So now it'll allow them to input their flower, right? But I hope you're thinking, so let's run it, because we did a lot, right? Type a little, run a little, type a little, run a little. Come on, there we go. Enter your flower rose, enter your flower tulip, enter your flower, oh, did I spell it wrong? Tulips, my bad. Tulips, enter your flower sunflowers, right? But notice I said it's going to keep continuing as long as this flag is true, right? So again, I didn't update that flag yet. So let's give them another option, right? So I want you guys, because this was something about the if-else statements that we were having a little bit of confusion about in our lab yesterday. So this segment of this if-else statements all go together. They work together. Think of them as a family or something, right? So each of these are checking the flower order variable and doing something different based on the flower ordering variable, right? So now when I want to test a new variable, if I want to compare things to a new variable, I got to start over with if. Okay? I got to start over with a new if statement, and I need to take a new form of input, right? So now maybe I want to do like are you done is equal to input are you done ordering, put a y in for like yes or no, right? So if are you done is equal to y, and or we could do this, are you done equal to lowercase y, right? I think a couple of us had some issues with this in the lab from yesterday too, right? Whenever you want to use that or the and logic from the last lecture, make sure that your if statement needs to come down to one condition in the very end. So this is going to evaluate to one condition. This is going to evaluate to one condition. And then the result of both, the or between the result of both of those will be one condition. Okay? So that's, and also this is what we call error handling, right? So in the event that our user doesn't do what they're supposed to do. So, oh, let me add, I just realized I kind of was not adding a lot of comments. So this is our while loop. This is where we set the while loop condition to be true. And this is where we create a running total, create a variable to hold our running total, right? Just to give us a little bit of information when you guys are looking back through this code. Okay, so anyway, so are you done? We'll say if they are done, then we want to update our condition, right flag equals 1. Else they're not done, then it's going to continue them through our loop. So save, run that thing, run that thing. Rose, are you done? No. Maybe now we want tulips. Are we done? Yes. And it ended our loop, right? So maybe another nice thing to do, just so you're able to visualize where the program terminates, it's always nice, and I think usually inside of our what do I want to call them? Inside of our, sorry. Okay, anyway, I'm back now. Normally inside of our lab assignments, at the bottom, I'll say include a goodbye message, and it just kind of signals to your user that your program hasn't crashed. This is the actual end of the program. It's a good, something nice to do. Goodbye. Thank you for shopping with us. Save. Flowers, roses. Goodbye, thank you. My thing is in the way. There we go. Goodbye, thank you for shopping with us. Cool. So that is an example of our while loop. Cool. And I'll even put update the condition for the while loop to exit or to terminate, whatever. And I know last semester people were even finding it ideal to do like to write something like end of while loop just to it was helping people know where they started it and very clearly know where they ended it later. It was helping people it was helping a lot of people. Sorry. Alrighty, what is next? Our handy dandy for loop is next. I think I'm going to actually just do an additional file over here just to keep things handy. .py. Let's do apples. Cool. And you guys should be able to toggle in between the files over here on the left. I will tell you for going in between the different files, what you need to do, and I'll just do a quick print statement. Hello. Save. And then if we hit run, it's still running the other program, right? So what we have to do is, if you can tell over here on the left, Valentine is bolded here. And so what you have to do is you have to click apples and hit change to main file. And then now if we run it, now it's switched and running the apples.py file as our main file. So just a heads up, so if you're ever like, oh man, I keep hitting run but it's running the wrong one, just know that's what you need to do. Alrighty, so probably for you guys you'll have to click the apples.py right now and it'll be empty. So anyway, and then you can just type this in there. 6. So now we want to look at a for loop. So the for loop is kind of like it's kind of like the while loop. However, in a for loop, the difference between the two is that in the while loop, you don't really have an idea of how many times your user is gonna want to go through this loop, whereas in the for loop, right? So what I'm trying to get at is in this one, for this while loop, they could order 20 different orders of flowers. We have no idea when the user wants to terminate, and we'll give them the option to terminate in there, right? In a for loop, we have an idea of when termination is, right? So for I in range 0, start, stop, step. And what I'm saying there, start, stop, step, is how this range function is working. So for I, starting from 0, stopping at 10, incrementing by 1, print, and we'll just do print I first, right? So let's run that thing. Right, so starting at 0, going to 10, or stopping at 10, incrementing by 1, we get a nice 0, and it ends, or it's going to stop printing at 9, right? But it's done 10 increments, right? So once I is equal to 10, it's not going to pop down here in print. It's going to terminate, right? So if I wanted to see that 10 pop up, I'd have to put 11, right? So then when it gets to 11, it'll terminate. But when it gets to 10, it would still print 10. Okay? I'm actually going to leave that in. So you can also do let's do for in range, starting at, we'll start at 11, stopping at 0, and we'll increment by -1. And this is still doing start, stop, step, right? Start at 11, stop at 0, increment by -1, or the other word for it, increment is when you're increasing by 1, or decrement, which is subtracting 1. So anyway, so then we'll print J. And just to make this very clear, oh, do I need to zoom in a little bit? Oh, we're on 120. Okay, maybe that's better. Sorry, I hope the 125 is fine for you guys. Anyway, so I'm gonna give this some labels just so that we can be very clear what output is going for what, right? Save, run that thing. Let's get some spacing in there. Sorry about that. So that it's very clear what's going on. So give me 2 new line. Remember, that's the new line character. New line escape character. Cool. Let's run that thing. There we go. So our I is still running because we didn't take that away. But see, here is our decrement. Cool. All right. So that's for looping. Let me also, since I named it apples, let's do for I in range. Oh, that's what I was trying to do. That's why I was thinking about the apples, right? So maybe if I create a variable called like the number of apples. I hope nobody's having a flashback to doing math with their parents in the living room. Anyway, so I hope nobody's having a flashback to that. If Johnny has 10 apples, but anyway, so if we say the number of apples we have is 15 or something, right? So we could do something like for I in range starting at 0, stepping. Starting at 0, stopping at the num of apples, and then decrementing by 1. Then we can do something like print I, and then do something like apples. Hold on, I think, did I just, the doorbell ringing threw me off. That's not I don't think that's the example I was trying to show. Hold on. That's what I want to do. I switched these. I knew my brain was like, what am I doing? There we go. Right? We want to start with our number of apples. Stop when we're out of apples. And, right, take 1 down, pass it around. There. Bam, 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 bam. Run that thing. Right? 15 apples left, and we ate. Well, I should put something like print Johnny ate 1. Johnny ate 1. Now it's 14 apples left. Johnny ate 1. Now it's 13 apples left. Johnny ate 1. Now it's 12 apples left. Blah blah blah. Okay. So that's how you can plug a variable in. The range function isn't just taking sorry, I realized I didn't separate it. Give you guys a nice separation in there so you can see what's going on. Right? All right. There. Cool. So while we're also on this kind of example, let me show you guys or here, maybe I'll do students. let me get some spacing down here. This is just so that I'm not at the bottom of the page. You guys don't have to do that. Anyway, so print. Oh, let me also here incrementing just some notes so you guys have the vocabulary, right? And making our notes a little bit cleaner. Incrementing variables, using variables with the range function, sure, or with for loops, it's whatever. List in a len function, right? So we could do something like create a list of, let's see, I'm trying to remember the people in class. Okay, anyway. I remember, why do I remember mostly M names? Well, anyway, it is fine. So we have a list of students. So if we wanted to drop through the list of students, we could do something like we could get the number of students by using the len function on the list, right? And so then we could do something like for I in range 0, right? Starting at 0, going to the number of students, incrementing by 1, and we could print students, or the student list at position I. And then we could do something like, I don't know, we could assign them numbers or something like that. So I could also do like, just put I there, like a student ID number, something like. Yeah. Right. So, well, okay, let me not do too much because I want you guys, what I'm trying to get at with this was that the I is going to give us the position inside of the list in this scenario. And that's how you can use a loop or a for loop to increment through a list. Let me not get ahead of myself and start doing creative things. Right. And give you guys some. Let's do students. Let's give ourselves some white space. Cool. Alrighty, so then it prints out each student there in a clean way. So I know you guys are remembering from when we learned lists that why would we do that when you could also just do print with the name of the list and it prints out like this, right? But is this using the for loop for it is so much more beautiful and so much cleaner, and you're gonna actually end up using this more times than this when you want to do something visually pleasing, I would say. Yeah, so this is a handy dandy way to increment through list. But remembering that you can also print a list like that. It's just ugly. But also if you wanted to do something to each item inside of a list, you'd also want to increment that. So there's lots of scenarios where incrementing through a list is really, really helpful. Okie dokie. Yeah. Let's see. While loop, for loop, and then nesting and breaking. Although I tend to not like to teach breaking at this point in the lecture or at this point in your learning, because people tend to do some really weird things with the break and continue. Students tend to make some really like horrible design choices and like do some really ugly things with it. But anyway, what else was I? Oh yeah, nesting. So let me, I guess, do I want to do another file? And let's do, I don't know, beach. That's where I want to be. I want to be on a beach somewhere. Beach.py, right? And we'll do last updated 24 Feb 2026. So again, of course, you guys would have to switch to the beach file now in your notes in order to get to the next thing. So maybe we'll set our flag. My flag equals 0. And you can do lots of things. You could do true or false. You could do the flag. Remember, remember 1 equal sign is 4. Assignment, 2 equal signs are 4. What the heck? There we go. Okay, anyway. 1 equal sign is 4. Assignment, 2 equal signs are 4. Comparison, right? Well, flag equals, sorry, 0. Bam, 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 bam. Then we want to do some stuff. Let's say, let's print, I don't know. Would you like a beach towel? I don't know. Or here, we'll do another one like the last example, kind of keep things uniform, right? Maybe we'll do like beach towels for $10, or soda pop, $2, right? And then I don't know. I don't know, let's just leave it at that. What else I don't know. I'm blanking on what else I would want on the beach. If you guys were here, I would be like, somebody give me something else I might want on the beach. But we'll just leave it at beach towels and soda, sure. Anyway, so maybe we'll take some input. Order is equal to input. What would you like to purchase? Almost made a syntax error for getting my quotes. And then if order is equal to beach towels, then we'll here, maybe we'll do total. We'll create a total here at the top. Right, this is really similar to the first example. I haven't done the new thing yet. Okay, so then total is equal to total plus $10. Sure. Else if you want the soda pop. Soda pop. There we go. Then total is equal to total plus $2, right? So that's not doing the new thing yet. Do else print invalid. I really want to forget my quotes, don't I? Invalid entry. And then making sure you do something wrong, you get kicked out of the loop. Okay, cool. Anyway, so the new thing I want to add is a nested loop. So maybe we could do something like num sodas, okay? And we could take some input and say something like, how many sodas do you want? Why do sodas look weird? I'm going to put drinks. How many drinks do you want? Right? And then I hope somebody was sitting there thinking, oh, that's a number, so we need to make sure we use our handy dandy int function, right? Okay. So, right, because remembering that our int function is making the data type, it's telling the computer, hey, the data type is a number. More specifically, the int is our integers, are our counting numbers, right? Anyway, so how many drinks you want, and maybe we'll do something like while num sodas is greater than 0, we'll do type of, ooh, goodness, soda type is equal to input, what kind of soda do you want? And maybe we'll do something like, maybe we'll give them a list of sodas. Give them some Sprite. Sprite for, I don't know, 50, cola for, I don't know, 350, water, okay, Dasani water, that's water, for $1, sure, that's enough. we're getting the point across. We're getting the point across, right? And then so we'll print them a menu, and then actually maybe I want to put the menu outside of the loop so that it doesn't print the menu over and over again, right? I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just a design. That's a design choice. That's a design choice. Anyway, so while they still have sodas that they want to order, take in the soda type, and oh, we could even hold that in a list. Well, let me just run it. Let me just run it, right? Because we gotta run a little, type a little, run a little, type a little, run a little. Oh, and already, let me switch the beach to my main file. Now let's run that thing. All right, what would you like to purchase? And let's do the soda pop. How many drinks do you want? 3. What kind of soda do you want? Cola, Dasani, and Sprite. Oh, cola. Oh, why is it still? Hold on, what did I do? Wow. So, oh, I forgot to decrease it by 1, right? So then I need to go in here and say soda, num sodas equals num sodas minus 1, right? What would you like to purchase? And let's do soda pop. How many drinks do you want? 3. Sprite, cola, Dasani. There we go. Right? And so after, right? So what happened? And let me also explain why I needed this line, because it was continuing that line because num sodas was never getting updated, even though I was putting in my number of even though I was putting in higher than my number of drinks, right? So it's coming in, how many sodas do you want? And I said 3. So then 3 would go into this spot here, and that's why it would decrease by 1 until num sodas is depleted. Cool? And I could have put anything. I didn't have to put 3. I could have put something else. Let's do it again. Soda pop. How many drinks do you want? Maybe we'll do like 5. Dasani, and maybe 2 Sprites. Cool. But notice that is now inside of, right? We nested. So this while loop is inside of this while loop. So that is a nested while loop. Alternatively, this is also, I don't want to confuse you guys. Well, this y'all will be fine. So notice that this while loop is, let me just leave it alone. Anyway, so this is a nested, because I want to make sure I'm not confusing. This is a nested while loop, just a loop inside of a loop. The other thing people will do, we get into some fun and interesting examples of a lot of classes will end up doing the nested loops and then do the really funky designs. Um, I'll probably at the end of lab next class offer one of those funky design challenges as a extra credit assignment for a couple of points, and it won't be due for a few days. So, or even I might even leave it open for a week. Anyway, I don't know. Let's do some sort of funky design. .py. We're doing a lot of different files this time, but it's just, especially with the looping, it gets so ugly. Anyway, so I just wanted to open some other files. And sorry about getting this up here so late, guys. I'm looking at the time. Good night. Okay, what was I trying to do with this? Right. Let's do, do I want to do a while loop? Let's do a for loop. I'm trying to remember how I did some of those funky designs. For starting at 0, maybe going to 10, maybe increasing by 1. You could do something like print. Do a nested for j in range, starting at 0, going to I. So check that out, that I'm using the variable from the previous loop inside of the next loop, right? So starting at 0, going to I, incrementing by 1, and then print a star, and then I think it's end equals. Somebody had just asked me about this in class. This is making it so that it doesn't skip the next line. And then after that, after this line is done, that is where I want the next line to start. See if I did that properly to get the example I wanted. Yeah, so this is where you start to get these sort of cool design things that you can do with nested for loops. So let me put a nested for loop. And this example in particular, I think is really cute and fun, and I will tend to like to put this on quizzes and exams and whatnot, right? So for I in range, starting at 0, stepping by 10, or I'm sorry, starting at 0, stopping at 10, stepping by 1, right? We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, we're terminating at 10, right? So our I is going, and then our J is going to I. So if I is 1, then J is 1. If I is 2, then J is 2. If I is 3, then J is 3. And that's what's going across. So your I is going down and your J is going across. And that's what's giving us this super cute little triangle, star triangle thing. Okay? And so I'll do something like this and do starting at 10, ending at 0, decrementing by 1. Decrementing by 1. And see, that's making that cool little arrow shape. But the kind of question that I'll usually do is like, say this is like figure 1, or I'm sorry, this would be figure 2, and print, this would be figure 1. Let's do give us some white space in there. run that thing. So this would be figure 1, right? And this would be figure 2. And I would say like match the code to the figure. And so what you would really be like, the big kicker that you're looking for is like, oh, it's starting high and ending low. So you know that that one would go with -1 because it's decrementing, right? And for the first one, you would see that it's starting low and ending high. So you know it's incrementing. And so I should have a positive step, right? So that's just a really nice example of understanding how these nested for loops are working. Alrighty. Yeah, and I'm not going to show you guys the break and continue because it gets ugly. If you, in fact, I'll leave that to you guys to look at on your own. So make sure that you go and read this 5.4, but please don't use it in a ugly way. And of course, I feel like the I especially the continue but the break is it comes in handy every now and then. I do use it on occasion. Um, you won't really need the break and continue for real for this class though. Alrighty, I know we covered a lot of content in this recording today, and I know it's getting up late, so you guys remember, always feel free to email me with your questions and concerns or come to office hours Mondays. Alrighty, so I hope you guys enjoyed this lecture, and I will see you guys soon. Alrighty, have a nice one.